Colonel Shaffer, what's your reaction to these strikes? Do you think they were effective or not enough?
This wasn't proportional. We just went through. Ben helped list out some of the numbers of attacks. So, a handful of bombs in 30 minutes against a handful of targets that we told we were going to hit. That's not proportional. It's a joke. And so we'll see what happens. But you've already reported this morning that the Houthi are back in business. Not being reported is the fact that Houthi are a transnational threat. They've now moved into Ethiopia and now effectively control the Red Sea. Rita, I don't know how anybody at the Pentagon thinks that allowing terrorists who run around in the back of Toyota 4x4s to have influence and control over 25% of the world's shipping. And next thing, real quick, on the targeting list. Sabrina Singh, the Pentagon spokesman, said last week that we know, quote unquote, the hand of the Iranians are behind all the attacks, and yet the Iranian hand has not been cut off. They had a few sites that we think were command and control centers and intelligence centers, but not a single member that I can tell of the IRGC was actually hit. Victoria's going to probably talk about the fact that she and President Trump, planned out the hit on Soleimani because it was something necessary to rapidly respond. They anticipated this, Rita. I don't want to take away Victoria's thunder here, but I can tell you what Trump did with Victoria and others was effective. I'm skeptical this is going to be effective.
Well, and exactly to your point, Tony, I mean, we saw after that hit on Soleimani, things were calm for a while. They clearly got the message. Victoria, you were right there in the throes of all that major decision making, and we're so honored to have you here today, especially in light of that. Your reaction to what we have seen in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, Rita, good to be with you. I think that what's really extraordinary to me about this is the degree to which the president and the administration are telegraphing exactly what they're going to do. It's the same thing that they did at the beginning of January when they said they had a duty to warn the Iranians about an ISIS terrorist attack that was going to take place actually on the anniversary of the Soleimani strike that Tony described. So I think that's just bizarre. And then to have Senator Cardin, who's a very trusted administration mouthpiece, he's in a way a shadow Secretary of State, come out and say it's going to be 2 months, people. So the Iranians know if they just hang on for 2 months, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's a great point, Victoria, because telegraphing saying it's going to be 2 months, also saying they're not going to Iran. How much of a mistake is that as well? Because you went, again, right to Soleimani, which was a very bold move, but it clearly got the message to the mullahs. In this case, we're saying we're only going to go to these proxy groups. We're not going to the head of the snake, Victoria.
Right. And I think what the clearest message we need to be sending to the Iranians right now is like the Soleimani strike, that we can reach out and touch them wherever they are, no matter how secure they think they are. The Israelis are also extremely good at this and demonstrate extraordinary capabilities that they don't have. That's what's going to make them back down. If we continue with these kind of pinpoint, very calibrated, to a large extent, non-lethal strikes on non-critical infrastructure in Iraq and Syria, the Iranians will just be emboldened.
Yeah, no question. And that seems to be what's happening already, as we just talked about the big breaking news that the USS Carney had to shoot down a UAV. Colonel Shaffer, walk us through also just some of the types of the bomber jets and the bombers that were used in this mission. I know that they had the B-1B bombers with cruise missiles coming all the way from the United States. Walk us through militarily what that means.
So that was clearly a show of force, Rita, one I actually do support. I mean, the B-1B is a nuclear-capable bomber, and it traveled a long way. And God bless those troops, those airmen and those aircraft. But it was meant to show that we could still project strategically military force. With that said, as I said, we did not do a proportional response. This was a somewhat muted but very active response. I mean, it's very clear that we're out there doing things. But at this point, the other responses, the other things that we did with the ordnance, we just don't know how effective it was. So, yeah, it's great that we rolled out a B-1B, which was an artifact of the Cold War, to remind people we can still do these things. But again, as Victoria said, to what end? What are we trying to do? And this so-called Biden doctrine leads with supporting, going after Iran, but not actually doing things to help organize our allies. So as much as we've had all this great ordnance, we should be focusing on how to organize our Arab allies to help support what we're doing in this region to return to stability.